Life is a journey, and for many of us that journey includes a spiritual dimension. But how do you know if you're truly progressing on your spiritual path? Sometimes the signs are subtle, and other times they're as clear as day. Whether you're just starting out or you've been on this journey for years, it's always helpful to check in and see where you stand. In this article, we'll explore 7 powerful indicators that you're on the right track spiritually. These signs will resonate with seekers from all walks of life, regardless of your specific beliefs or practices. 1. You're becoming more self-aware. One of the first and most significant signs that you're progressing on your spiritual path is an increase in self-awareness. This doesn't mean you suddenly have all the answers or that you've figured everything out. Instead, it's about developing a deeper understanding of yourself, your thoughts, emotions, behaviors, and motivations. Think back to a time when you reacted strongly to something without really understanding why. Maybe you got unreasonably angry at a small inconvenience, or you felt inexplicably sad on what should have been a happy occasion. As you progress spiritually, you start to notice these reactions more. You begin to question them, to dig deeper into the why behind your feelings and actions. This increased self-awareness often comes with a sense of detachment. You're able to observe your thoughts and emotions without being completely consumed by them. It's like you're watching a movie of your life, but you're both the audience and the main character at the same time. Here's an example. Let's say you're stuck in traffic and feeling frustrated. In the past, you might have just stewed in that anger, letting it color your entire day. But with greater self-awareness, you might notice the frustration rising and think, "Interesting. I'm feeling angry right now. Why is that? Is it really about the traffic or is something else bothering me?" This ability to step back and observe yourself is a clear sign of spiritual growth. Self-awareness also extends to recognizing your patterns and habits. You might start to notice recurring themes in your life. Perhaps you always seem to attract a certain type of relationship, or you consistently struggle with the same issues at work. Recognizing these patterns is the first step to changing them, and it's a key part of spiritual growth. Remember, becoming more self-aware isn't always comfortable. It often means confronting parts of yourself that you've been avoiding or denying. But this discomfort is a sign of progress. It means you're pushing past your comfort zone and growing as a person. 2. You're developing a sense of interconnectedness. Another powerful indicator that you're on your spiritual path is a growing sense of interconnectedness with the world around you. This isn't just about feeling connected to other people, although that's certainly part of it. It's about recognizing that you're part of something much larger than yourself, whether you conceptualize that as nature, the universe, or a higher power. As this sense of interconnectedness grows, you might find yourself feeling more empathy and compassion for others. You start to see beyond surface-level differences and recognize the common humanity in everyone. This doesn't mean you suddenly love everyone or agree with everything they do, but you develop a deeper understanding of why people act the way they do, even when their actions are harmful or misguided. This interconnectedness often extends to nature as well. You might find yourself feeling a stronger connection to the natural world. A walk in the forest becomes more than just exercise. It becomes a profound experience of unity with the trees, the earth, the sky. You might feel a sense of awe at the complexity and beauty of the natural world, from the intricate patterns on a leaf to the vast expanse of the night sky. Here's an example. Imagine you're walking down a busy city street. In the past, you might have seen the crowd as a faceless mass of strangers. But as you progress on your spiritual path, you might start to see each person as an individual with their own story, their own struggles and joys. You might find yourself wondering about their lives, sending silent well-wishes their way. This shift in perspective is a clear sign of spiritual growth. This sense of interconnectedness often comes with a greater awareness of the impact of your actions. You start to realize that everything you do, no matter how small, has an effect on the world around you. This can lead to more mindful, intentional living. You might become more conscious of your consumption habits, more thoughtful in your interactions with others, more aware of your impact on the environment. It's important to note that developing this sense of interconnectedness doesn't mean losing your individuality. In fact, it often leads to a stronger sense of self. As you recognize your place in the larger whole, you also come to understand your unique role and contributions. 3. You're letting go of judgment. A third powerful indicator that you're progressing on your spiritual path is a decrease in judgmental thinking. This doesn't mean you stop discerning between right and wrong, or that you become passive in the face of injustice. Rather, it means you start to see beyond black and white thinking and recognize the complexity of life and human nature. As you grow spiritually, you might find yourself becoming more accepting of others, even when their choices or beliefs differ from your own. You start to understand that everyone is on their own journey, facing their own challenges, and doing the best they can with what they know. This letting go of judgment often starts with yourself. You become more accepting of your own flaws and mistakes, recognizing them as opportunities for growth rather than reasons for self-condemnation. This self-acceptance then naturally extends to others. Here's an example. Let's say you have a coworker who's always late to meetings and seems disorganized. In the past, you might have judged them harshly, thinking they were lazy or incompetent. But as you progress spiritually, you might find yourself wondering what challenges they might be facing that you don't know about. Maybe they're dealing with a family illness or struggling with mental health issues. This shift from judgment to curiosity and compassion is a clear sign of spiritual growth. Letting go of judgment also means becoming more open-minded. You start to recognize that your way isn't the only way, and that there's value in diverse perspectives and experiences. This can lead to a greater willingness to learn from others, even and especially from those who are very different from you. It's important to note that letting go of judgment doesn't mean becoming a pushover or accepting harmful behavior. You can still have boundaries and stand up for what you believe is right. The difference is that you do so from a place of understanding and compassion, rather than anger or self-righteousness. This decrease in judgmental thinking often comes with a sense of freedom. When you're not constantly judging yourself and others, you free up a lot of mental and emotional energy. You might find yourself feeling more relaxed, more open to new experiences, and more able to live in the present moment. 4. You're experiencing synchronicities. The fourth indicator that you're on your spiritual path is the occurrence of synchronicities in your life. Synchronicities are meaningful coincidences, events that seem to be connected but can't be explained by conventional cause and effect. They often feel like the universe is winking at you, giving you a sign that you're on the right track. As you progress spiritually, you might start noticing these synchronicities more frequently. It could be something as simple as thinking about an old friend and then suddenly receiving a call from them. Or it might be more complex, like repeatedly encountering the same symbol or number sequence in different contexts. These synchronicities often feel deeply personal and meaningful. They can provide guidance, confirmation, or simply a sense of wonder at the mysterious workings of the universe. The key is that they feel significant to you, even if they might seem mundane to someone else. Here's an example. Let's say you've been considering a career change, but feeling uncertain about it. Then, in the span of a week, you overhear a stranger talking about the exact field you're interested in. You come across a relevant job posting without looking for it, and a book on the subject literally falls off a shelf in front of you at the library. These events might seem like mere coincidences to someone else, but to you, they feel like a clear sign guiding you toward your new path. It's important to note that experiencing synchronicities doesn't mean the universe is controlling your life, or that everything is predetermined. Rather, it's often interpreted as a sign that you're in flow with the universe, that you're aligned with your path. As you become more attuned to these synchronicities, you might find yourself developing a greater trust in the flow of life. You start to recognize that even when things don't go as planned, there might be a greater purpose at work. This can lead to a sense of ease and trust, even in challenging times. However, it's crucial to maintain a balance when it comes to synchronicities. While they can provide guidance and affirmation, it's important not to become obsessed with looking for signs in everything. The goal is to remain open and aware, not to force meaning where there isn't any. 5. You're embracing change and uncertainty. The fifth powerful indicator that you're progressing on your spiritual path is a growing ability to embrace change and uncertainty. This is often one of the more challenging aspects of spiritual growth, as humans naturally tend to seek stability and predictability. However, as you advance on your spiritual journey, you start to recognize that change is not only inevitable, but also essential for growth. This doesn't mean you suddenly love chaos or that you stop planning for the future. Rather, it means you develop a deeper trust in the process of life. You start to see challenges as opportunities for growth rather than as obstacles to be feared. As you embrace change, you might find yourself becoming more adaptable and resilient. Instead of resisting when things don't go as planned, you're able to go with the flow and find new solutions. This flexibility often comes with a sense of freedom. When you're not rigidly attached to specific outcomes, you're open to a world of possibilities. Here's an example. Let's say you lose your job unexpectedly. In the past, this might have thrown you into a panic or a depression. But as you progress spiritually, you might find yourself thinking, okay, this isn't what I planned, but what opportunities might this open up? What can I learn from this experience? This shift from fear to curiosity in the face of change is a clear sign of spiritual growth. Embracing uncertainty also means becoming more comfortable with not knowing. In our information-rich world, we often feel like we need to have all the answers. But spiritual growth often involves recognizing the limits of our knowledge and being okay with that. You start to understand that there's a wisdom in admitting, I don't know, and remaining open to learning. This comfort with uncertainty can lead to a sense of wonder and awe at the mysteries of life. Instead of feeling frustrated by what you don't understand, you feel excited by the vastness of what there is to learn and experience. It's important to note that embracing change and uncertainty doesn't mean becoming passive or fatalistic. You can still set goals and work towards them. The difference is that you hold those goals lightly, remaining open to new possibilities and trusting in the journey, even when it takes unexpected turns. 6. You're developing a regular spiritual practice. The sixth indicator that you're progressing on your spiritual path is the development of a regular spiritual practice. This doesn't necessarily mean adhering to a specific religion or following a prescribed set of rituals, although it can include these things. Rather, it's about consistently engaging in activities that connect you with your inner self and with something larger than yourself. This spiritual practice can take many forms. For some, it might be daily meditation or prayer. For others, it might be yoga, journaling, spending time in nature, or creating art. The specific form doesn't matter as much as the intention behind it and the consistency with which you practice. As you progress spiritually, you might find yourself naturally drawn to these practices. What started as a sporadic activity becomes a regular part of your routine. You start to prioritize this time for spiritual connection, recognizing its importance in your overall well-being. Here's an example. Let's say you've always been interested in meditation but struggled to make it a habit. As you progress on your spiritual path, you might find yourself naturally waking up a little earlier each day to sit in silence for a few minutes. Over time, this practice becomes as natural and necessary as brushing your teeth or eating breakfast. The development of a regular spiritual practice often comes with a deepening of your spiritual experiences. You might find that your meditations become more profound, your prayers more heartfelt, your connection to nature more intense. This is because, like any skill, spirituality deepens with consistent practice. It's important to note that developing a spiritual practice doesn't mean your life suddenly becomes perfect or that you're always in a state of bliss. You'll still face challenges and have difficult days. The difference is that your spiritual practice provides you with tools to navigate these challenges more effectively. It becomes a source of strength, clarity, and peace that you can draw upon in all aspects of your life. Your spiritual practice might also evolve over time, and that's okay. What works for you at one stage of your journey might not resonate later on. The key is to remain open and responsive to your own needs and experiences, adapting your practice as necessary. Remember, the goal of a spiritual practice isn't to achieve some perfect state or to tick a box on your spiritual to-do list. It's about creating regular opportunities for connection, growth, and self-discovery. It's about showing up for yourself and for your spiritual journey, day after day. 7. You're experiencing a shift in priorities. The seventh and final powerful indicator that you're progressing on your spiritual path is a noticeable shift in your priorities. As you grow spiritually, you may find that the things that once seemed critically important to you start to lose their appeal, while other aspects of life take on new significance. This shift often involves moving away from materialistic or ego-driven goals and towards more meaningful, purpose-driven aspirations. It's not that you stop caring about your career or financial stability, but these things are no longer the central focus of your life. Instead, you start to prioritize personal growth, relationships, service to others, and alignment with your deeper values. As your priorities shift, you might find yourself making different choices in your daily life. You might choose to spend your free time volunteering instead of shopping, or invest in experiences that enrich your soul rather than acquiring more possessions. You might start to care less about impressing others and more about being authentic and true to yourself. Here's an example. Let's say you've always been career-focused, constantly striving for the next promotion or pay raise. As you progress spiritually, you might find yourself caring less about climbing the corporate ladder and more about finding work that aligns with your values and allows you to make a positive impact. You might even consider a career change to something that feels more meaningful, even if it means a pay cut. This shift in priorities often comes with a redefinition of success. Instead of measuring your worth by your bank balance or job title, you start to value things like personal growth, the quality of your relationships, your impact on others, and your sense of inner peace and fulfillment. It's important to note that this shift doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't mean completely abandoning all worldly concerns. It's more of a gradual rebalancing, a realignment of your life with your evolving values and understanding. This change in priorities can sometimes be challenging, especially if it puts you at odds with societal expectations or the people around you. You might find that some relationships change or fall away as your interests and values shift, but you're likely to also attract new people and opportunities that are more aligned with your evolving self. Remember, this shift in priorities is not about judging your past self or anyone else who might have different priorities. It's simply a natural evolution as you grow and gain new perspectives on life. It's about aligning your outer life with your inner growth, creating a life that feels authentic and meaningful to you. Your unique spiritual journey. As we wrap up our exploration of these 7 powerful indicators, it's important to remember that spiritual growth is a deeply personal journey. While these signs can serve as helpful guideposts, they're not a checklist to be completed or a race to be won. Your path is unique to you, and it will unfold in its own time and in its own way. You might recognize all of these indicators in your life, or only a few. You might experience them in the order we've discussed, or in a completely different sequence. Some might resonate strongly with you, while others might not feel relevant to your journey at all. All of this is perfectly okay. The key is to stay open, curious, and compassionate with yourself as you navigate your spiritual path. Celebrate your growth, but don't berate yourself for perceived lack of progress. Remember that spiritual growth often happens in spirals rather than straight lines. You might revisit the same lessons multiple times, gaining new insights each time. Also, keep in mind that spiritual growth isn't always comfortable or easy. It often involves challenging your existing beliefs, facing your fears, and stepping out of your comfort zone. There might be periods of confusion, doubt, or what's often called the dark night of the soul. These challenging times are not signs of failure, but often indicate deep transformation taking place. As you continue on your spiritual journey, stay true to yourself and what feels right for you. Don't be afraid to question teachings or practices that don't resonate, even if they come from respected sources. Your intuition and personal experience are powerful guides on this path. Remember that spirituality isn't separate from your everyday life. It's meant to infuse and enhance every aspect of your existence. The goal isn't to transcend your humanness, but to fully embrace it, with all its joys and challenges. As you grow spiritually, you may find that you become more fully present in your life, more engaged with the world around you, and more authentically yourself. It's also worth noting that spiritual growth isn't a solo journey. Even though much of the work happens within yourself, community can play a vital role in supporting and inspiring your growth. This might be a formal spiritual community, or simply a group of like-minded friends who share your interests and values. Don't hesitate to seek out others who can support you on your path, and be open to supporting others in turn. As you reflect on these 7 indicators, you might find it helpful to journal about your experiences. Where do you recognize growth in your life? What areas feel challenging? What questions or insights are arising for you? Regular reflection can be a powerful tool for deepening your awareness and integrating your spiritual insights into your daily life. Finally, remember that the ultimate indicator of spiritual growth is how you show up in the world. Are you becoming more compassionate, more authentic, more present? Are you contributing positively to the lives of those around you? Are you living in a way that aligns with your deepest values and highest aspirations? These are the real fruits of spiritual growth. Your spiritual path is a lifelong journey of discovery, growth, and transformation. It's not about reaching a final destination, but about fully embracing the journey itself. Each step you take, each insight you gain, each challenge you face is part of this beautiful, complex, sometimes messy, but always meaningful process of becoming more fully yourself and more deeply connected to the world around you. So, whether you recognize all of these indicators in your life or just a few, know that you are on your path. Trust the process, embrace the journey, and keep taking those steps forward. Your spiritual path is as unique as you are, and it's unfolding exactly as it should. Keep growing, keep learning, keep loving, and keep shining your light in the world. Your spiritual journey is not just for you. It's a gift to everyone whose life you touch. Remember, spirituality isn't about perfection. It's about progress, presence, and the courage to keep opening your heart to life, no matter what it brings. So, take a deep breath, trust yourself, and continue on your beautiful, unique spiritual path. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, and every step you take is bringing you closer to your truest, most authentic self. May your path be filled with wonder, growth, love, and the joy of discovery. May you find the strength to face your challenges, the wisdom to learn from your experiences, and the courage to keep moving forward. And may you always remember that you are exactly where you need to be, learning exactly what you need to learn, on this magnificent journey of spiritual growth. Your path is your own, but you're not alone on it. We're all on this journey together, each in our own way. So keep walking, keep growing, keep shining. The world needs your light, your love, and your unique gifts. Trust yourself, trust the process, and embrace the beautiful, ever-unfolding journey of your spiritual path.